What if I told you that inside one of GM's toughest transmissions, buried deep behind the torque converter and clutch packs, sat a tiny aluminum brain that decided when your car lived or died on the drag strip? It wasn't flashy, it wasn't advertised, and most mechanics never gave it a second look. But for the few who understood it, the TH400's governor wasn't just a part, it was the secret code to unlocking raw mechanical intelligence in an era before computers ever touched a car. Today we're uncovering how this forgotten piece of engineering rewrote the rules of speed, one shift at a time. GM's unbreakable transmission. The year was 1964. Detroit was running on pure horsepower, and General Motors was locked in an arms race it didn't plan to lose. Every year brought bigger engines, higher compression, and more torque than the last. And the old transmission simply couldn't take it anymore, so GM built something new. They called it the Turbo-Hydramatic 400, or TH400, a transmission designed not for comfort but for survival. It was a heavy cast iron masterpiece built to handle the brute force of Cadillac's big V8s and the pounding torque of Chevy's 396 and 454 engines. From the start, it earned a reputation as bulletproof. Drag racers swore by it, towing companies abused it, even police cruisers trusted it. The TH400 became a mechanical legend, a gearbox that could take whatever you threw at it and beg for more. But inside that industrial strength shell, there was something most people never noticed. A small aluminum housing bolted near the output shaft. It didn't look important, two tiny weights, a pair of springs, a few valves. But that little part quietly decided how every shift felt, how long each gear held, and ultimately how the car behaved. That part was the governor, the transmission's unsung brain. While the world praised the TH400 for its strength, almost nobody realized how much control that hidden piece actually had. And in the right hands, it could turn an ordinary grocery getter into something that felt alive. The heartbeat of an automatic. Automatic transmissions don't think for themselves, at least not in the 1960s. They don't know when to shift. They don't feel how hard you're accelerating. Every upshift and downshift depends on two forces working in perfect balance: throttle pressure and governor pressure. Throttle pressure comes from your right foot, how far you bury the gas pedal. But the governor? That's the transmission's speed sensor, decades before electronics made that job easy. As the drive shaft spins faster, centrifugal force pushes the governor's tiny weights outward. Those weights open valves, sending pressurized fluid back through narrow hydraulic passages. The faster the car goes, the higher the governor pressure climbs. Eventually, that pressure overcomes throttle input, and the transmission shifts. It's not software, it's Newton's laws and hydraulic logic working together in real time. The genius of the design is its simplicity. Two spinning weights, two springs, a couple of steel check balls. That's it. Yet this little mechanism controls the entire personality of the car. In a luxury Cadillac, it meant buttery smooth shifts at 30 miles per hour. In a muscle car, the same part could be tuned to hold first gear until the engine screamed for mercy. Most drivers never gave it a second thought, but hidden inside that aluminum cylinder was pure potential. A tiny mechanical brain waiting to be hacked by anyone bold enough to open it. Discovery and the hot rodder hack. By the late 1960s, something was happening in garages across America. Detroit was still churning out horsepower, but racers were looking for an edge. Something hidden, something the engineers never mentioned. Every speed shop had the same rumor floating through the air. Want to make your TH400 shift like it's angry? Play with the governor. That little aluminum capsule, once dismissed as a throwaway part, became the holy grail of backyard mechanics. It wasn't about replacing parts or spending big money. It was about understanding how the machine thought. A few ounces of metal could change everything, lighten the weights, and the transmission held gears longer, keeping the engine in its power band. Swap the springs and you could decide exactly when those shifts hit. Suddenly, a mild street car could roar through first and second gear like it was built for the strip. It didn't take long for word to spread. Guys would pull into parking lots after work, crawl under their cars with a screwdriver and a file, and retune their transmission right there on the pavement. No fancy tools, no computers, just a postal scale, a steady hand, and a pot of shop coffee. It was mechanical wizardry made accessible, a secret handshake among the initiated. And when you got it right, the payoff was unforgettable. That moment when the light turned green, the car dug in, and the shift hit like a sledgehammer at 5,000 RPM. All from a $12 part most people threw in the rebuild bin. The science of tuning the governor. Once the secret was out, the TH400 governor became a playground for experimenters. Everyone wanted to find the magic combination, the setup that made their car shift like it had a mind of its own. Here's how it worked. Inside that tiny housing were two spinning weights. The prime primary and the secondary. Each one controlled a different upshift. The primary governed the 1 to 2 shift, and the secondary handled 2 to 3. Both had small coil springs pushing against them. The balance between weight and spring tension decided when hydraulic pressure built high enough to trigger the next gear. Heavier weights meant earlier shifts. Lighter weights? Later, harder shifts that screamed to redline. Stiffer springs delayed the process even more, fighting centrifugal force until the last possible moment. A skilled tuner could trim just a gram off one weight, literally a paperclip's worth of metal, and raise the shift point by hundreds of RPM. It was delicate work. Too much, and you'd end up with a car that never upshifted. Too little, and you'd barely notice a difference. But when you got it right, it felt like the transmission was reading your mind. Calm and smooth in traffic, then feral and violent when you floored it. That was the real beauty of the TH400 Governor. It could be tuned like an instrument. Builders mixed and matched parts from different models. Corvette Governors, truck Governors, even ones from old Cadillacs, each with its own personality. A light Corvette weight paired with a stiffer truck spring could create a custom shift profile no GM engineer ever dreamed of. And for those chasing perfection, tuning became an art form. Guys drilled tiny holes in the weights to shave fractions of a gram. Others added tungsten putty for more mass, hunting the perfect early shift for torque monsters. The best of them could listen to a 1 to 2 shift and tell if it was 300 RPM off, like musicians tuning by ear. It was mechanical empathy. No laptops, no dyno graphs, just feel, experience, and craftsmanship. The culture and legacy. For the guys who lived through it, tuning the TH400 Governor wasn't just about speed, it was a rite of passage. Every driveway, every speed shop, every cracked concrete floor became a classroom. You didn't need a degree in engineering, you needed curiosity, patience, and a willingness to learn from mistakes. This was hands-on science, done in oil-stained jeans with a borrowed file. When you nailed the perfect shift, crisp, hard, and perfectly timed, you didn't just tune a car, you understood it. The machine spoke back, and for a brief moment, man and metal were in complete harmony. Stories spread like wildfire. Someone's neighbor with a slow Buick suddenly walked a GTO at a stoplight. A kid in a hand-me-down Chevelle beat cars twice the price, thanks to a Saturday afternoon experiment. The Governor became more than a part. It became a legend whispered about at cruise nights and passed down through generations. Even as the 1980s rolled in and electronic controls took over, the old-timers never forgot. They'd shake their heads watching people tune with laptops and say, "We used to do that with a screwdriver and a scale." And maybe that's why the TH400 never died. Even today, builders still chase that perfect blend of strength and simplicity. They still weigh springs, shave grams, and fine-tune governors. Not because it's easier, but because it means something. Because it reminds them of a time when performance wasn't downloaded, it was earned. The Governor that wouldn't die. By the time the 1980s arrived, the world was changing fast. Electronic control units took over. Lockup converters, solenoids, and digital shift maps replaced the hydraulic ballet of springs and valves. To most people, the mechanical Governor was ancient history, a relic from a simpler time. But for the builders who knew its secrets, the TH400 never disappeared. In fact, it found a second life. Today, the same transmission that powered big block Buicks and Cadillacs is being reborn behind LS swaps, turbo builds, and even 1,000 horsepower streetcars. And that little aluminum brain inside, it's still doing its job, only now the science behind it has gone next level. Instead of guessing spring tension or eyeballing weights, modern builders use 3D modeling and simulation software to predict exactly how each gram will affect shift points. Instead of drilling by hand, they 3D print custom weights with perfect mass distribution. Some even catalog hundreds of Governor combinations, each one tuned for a specific engine, tire size, and gear ratio. It's the same spirit of innovation powered by new tools, but the heart of it, the idea that you can feel performance through mechanics, remains untouched. That's the paradox of the TH400 Governor. It's both a time capsule and a teacher. It reminds us that no matter how advanced the technology becomes, the soul of performance lives in understanding why something works, not just pressing a button that makes it happen. And for those who still crawl under cars on Saturday mornings, file in hand and transmission fluid dripping down their sleeve, the Governor isn't just a part. It's proof that mechanical genius never goes out of style.